Cop shows like NCIS and CSI have been running for decades. They're super popular. People love being able to solve mysteries and catch criminals while being in the safety and comfort of their own homes. It gives the average person a dramatic insight into what it might be like to be in law enforcement, staking out criminals, analyzing forensics, and conducting autopsies. But what about the people who have to play the dead bodies? Today, we're going to look into why playing a cadaver on NCIS might just be so bad. So, what's so bad about being a dead body? You just have to lie there, right? Well, yeah and no. First off, we can see why it's such a cool sounding job. You get to be on TV, you get to experience being on the set of a show, you meet the stars, and you get paid, all for lying on a table for a few minutes for a couple of scenes. Plus, there's that cool moment where you can show your friends, hey, I'm that dead guy. However, apparently there's a lot more work to it than that. In a behind-the-scenes special called Inside NCIS Autopsy, Bodies of Work, it's revealed by the executive producer that it can be one of the toughest jobs on the set, but that doesn't put people off. Next, the show must get a lot of applicants for the extra parts. Executive producer for NCIS, Mark Horowitz, has said that a lot of people try to get the parts of dead bodies because they think it looks super easy. However, he is incredibly picky about who gets to play his corpses, and people who think they can handle it sometimes duck out at the last second because it's too hard. He revealed, nothing looks worse than a bad dead body. About half the people who audition to play a corpse can't keep their eyes still, whether they're open or closed. One time, a man playing a dead body left the set because he found his makeup far too disturbing. Yikes, we suppose having your eyes open for a long period of time, plus being told that you need to look like you're not breathing, all the while being naked, must be pretty difficult. Mark has said that he tries to get the faint of heart to quit before they get the part, so that they don't have to go through the hassle of finding another actor and recasting the part. He said, I tell them, I'm very upfront, I say it's horrible, this is the worst job you'll ever have. I try to root out the faint of heart as early as possible. What do other actors have to say about this part? The longtime veterans of the show know all the ins and outs and secrets of filming, and they definitely have a lot to say about what it takes to play a dead body. Brian Dietzen stars as NCIS's coroner and has been in the morgue performing the autopsies for the show for years. He spoke out about how it is for the extras on the mortuary slab, saying, you're on a cold metal table almost naked with a very hot light shining on your private area, and you have to hold your breath and not move at all when we are filming. He's talked about this before, previously saying, you're largely naked in the middle of a room full of people. It's kind of like living an anxiety dream. It sounds terrifying, but Dietzen isn't the only actor on the show who has opinions about playing a corpse. As his colleague and actor David McCallum revealed, these poor actors and actresses come along and lie on a steel table, so our main concern with the bodies is to keep them warm, keep them happy, and let them go home in one piece. Aw, that's actually sort of nice. At least the cast and crew really care about the poor extras. There's also the claustrophobia from being in that tiny metal drawer. Being shut in a tight space is a problem for lots of people, and claustrophobia is one of the most common fears that people have. So because of this, Mark Horowitz has made sure to mention it to each of the people that apply for the parts. He said, if they're going to be in one of those sliding drawers, we talk about claustrophobia. This is not a place for claustrophobic people. I try to weed out the faint of heart. However, there is a success story that came from one man overcoming his lifelong fear. An actor who played Petty Officer Lamar Finn in season 13 was a bit scared of being in the tight drawer. However, the actor, Walter Fauntleroy, stuck with it, and he found that being moved in and out of the drawer repeatedly for filming helped him overcome his claustrophobia. If it's so tough on the actors, how come the show doesn't just use prosthetic dummies? The short answer is sometimes they do. However, Mark Horowitz and the other creators would much rather use real living people unless there's no way it can be done. Simply put, it looks a lot more real because it is real. A lot can be done with makeup to make a person look deceased, and a lot of different injuries can be done with special effects makeup. It's especially important if a character was seen as being alive before they're seen in the morgue, because it's a character people will know and they would rather not use a fake version. Horowitz says, when we can, we like to use a real person to play the dead body, because even though prosthetic bodies are truly remarkable, you can get very close to them and they look completely realistic. There's something about real skin, the way light bounces off of it, which you can do with makeup that just feels more real. He clearly feels very passionately about this. And as a show that has a dead person in almost every episode, it would surely be incredibly time-consuming to make a different dead dummy for each one. But sometimes the occasion calls for the use of a prosthetic dummy. Obviously, a lot can be done with visual effects makeup. Artists can replicate all kinds of crazy injuries, and there's no way that anyone could tell that they aren't real real. However, sometimes super serious injuries are needed, something that can't be done to a living person with makeup. And when the script calls for one of these seriously maimed victims lying on the slab, a prosthetic dummy has to be made instead of an actor. Mark Horowitz confesses, "It's a very expensive doll. The creative team will send the order off to a company who specializes in making these dolls. Special plaster casts will be made of the person's head, where skin, eyes, and hair are meticulously added. Then, when the head's done, it's attached to a pre-made body that matches it. It takes quite a while and it's a long process. So obviously, the creative team at NCIS only likes to use these when it's absolutely necessary." Getting further into 2022, has there been any information revealed about the Series 20? As of right now, the creators of NCIS are keeping pretty tight-lipped about a potential 20th season. The 19th season finished airing last year. The most recent season is achieving over 7.5 million viewers per episode on average. And given that it's so popular after being on the air for so long, we can't see any networks canceling it just yet. As of February, there hasn't been an official cancellation, and we will obviously keep you updated if anything changes. The creators probably do have script ideas in mind, as usually popular shows like this tend to have ideas for storylines quite far in advance. Given how long it takes to film the season, if the show does get renewed, we could expect to see the 20th season come on our screens sometimes towards autumn this year. While we're waiting for the 20th season to be announced, there is some good news. Disney Plus has picked up NCIS, so people overseas who don't have access to CBS will be able to watch every single episode. That's right, every single one, all the way from the first episode of the first season. With everyone's favorite guy in charge, Gibbs, retiring and taking a back seat, we have lots of questions about his replacement. The new NCIS Supervisory Special Agent is a former FBI agent named Alden Parker. He is played by Gary Cole, who is more than eager to talk about his character. In an interview, he revealed, "Parker isn't overly chatty, but he is more verbal. He's not as old school. He tries to get his hands on new tech gadgets and impress everybody. He's trying to fit in with the rest of the team. Although he may be reluctant to voice it, he admires that Gibbs breaks rules. Parker bends them. We'll see if it gets to the point of breaking." We're super excited to see how this new character develops. It definitely sounds as though Gary Cole thinks that Gibbs is going to have an influence on Parker. Will he learn how to break the rules if it means moving his investigation forward? Or is the reputation that Gibbs has given his team going to intimidate him too much? We're going to have to wait and see to find out. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. Please leave us a like down below and remember to subscribe to the channel. See you next time.